Cal from Repair Club. So this video is strictly to explain the tools that I use for repair. So first, as far as getting into the device, I always start with my baby, my Nina right here. This is a heat gun. This is good for phone repair because when you start repairs, you'll have a phone and you can literally just heat up around the device. That'll save you a lot of time as far as trying to get devices open, because there is glue, aka adhesive, holding in this device. That's what's keeping the screen closed together. It's also waterproofing for devices that get dropped in the water. So the glue in the phone actually keeps the water out. It's almost like a sealant for the phone. So the heat gun is really good for that. It gets the heat, it gets the glue melted a bit, and the phone is much easier to pry up at that point. Secondly, suction. Suction is always good to better help to get the screen off. You would simply just like say I was taking apart this phone, put the suction here, and I'd pull up. You see how the screen is coming up? I'd pull up on that after I heat it, so it comes off a lot easier. And then as far as getting the screen off of the rest of the phone, I use a metal pry tool. They also call it an iSesamo. That'll also be available online as well. We'll provide links after video for you guys to be able to access those tools. Now, as far as screwing certain screws you'll need as far as when you get in, you have the Phillips driver here, and I'll include the measurements in the video. Phillips driver, that's a driver you'll need for repairs. Secondly, the YOO driver, which is here. Definitely need that for repairs as well. And those, this is actually good for the screws inside of the phone. Third is the Penelope driver. This is the screwdriver you use for the bottom screws on your device. So you use these for the first bottom screws you see on an iPhone. You will use those right there, and that's the only time you need it. So at the very beginning, after getting the screen warmed up and heated up around, and you take these screws out, and then you can pry the screen up slowly. And then after, when you transfer the new screen to the device, you use this again to screw them back. This driver, the Penelope, is specifically for the two screws. That's all you'll need the Penelope driver for. Fourth, tweezers is always good to remove because there are shields in the actual phone that are metal that you need to pry out. Shields similar to this. Like you'll see, once you get the screws out of like little components like this, I would then use my tweezers to pull it out. And then we have a plastic, it feels like it's wooden, pry tool, or they call it a black stick. Some people call it a black stick. These are also available online. I think I got a whole bag of these, 50 for like probably under 10 bucks. This is for prying, the prying connectors inside the device. This is strictly for prying connectors. As far as prying connectors like batteries and screen cables, you want to use this. You don't want to use this. You never want to use metal inside of a device, just outside of it. Use this for all the prying of cables. Or disconnecting cables, another word for that. And then we have a magnetizer. So what a magnetizer does is when you have screws you're taking off of a device or putting in, sometimes those screws do lose magnification. So you would simply use your magnetizer, take your screwdriver, put it in there, see how it sticks to it. This remagnetizes your screws so you're not losing them and dropping them all over the place. If you're going to get started in repair, I definitely recommend having a magnetizer. And then we have, this is an electronic duster. I actually used to see these working in shops like You Break I Fix. You'll see those in there. This is simply to get dust out of devices. So sometimes you will open the phone and you see it's like really dusty in there. I would always recommend getting a duster, or some people get the duster in a can as well. They sell that at Office Max. This is just really good to have to remove dust and stuff, because some phones, especially the older ones, they get dusty over time, and dust can cause electronics to wear down a lot sooner. So you want to make sure you have something to get dust out of phones. And then here we have our this is our mat for organization, for screws, things of that nature. I basically organize my whole repair on this mat. This is like my map right here. Whenever I get a screw out of a certain place in the device, I will always put it in a certain place, that way I don't get lost. A lot of these mats do come with markers as well, like magic markers, erasable markers. So I'll take mine, and you can literally, let's say you started a repair, and you took your first two bottom screws on the bottom of the iPhone and you put them here, right? You can then, okay, just imagine these two lines are my bottom screws. I can write bottom screws. I can write that on there. Some people do like to actually write down exactly what component is in each space, and you can simply erase it out like that. Might need some Windex. That's what this for. Now what's under it, this here is a ESD mat. Earlier I mentioned electrostatic disorder. This mat actually prevents that here. It's really good practice to have a mat that prevents ESD, because circuit damage can happen without properly grounding yourself. This is the grounding cable. So when I start a repair, I put this on, and I actually do another video on how to get this set up. You put your grounding cable on. This means I'm grounded, meaning I can't actually cause damage to a phone because electric current in my body is not being transferred to the device. Okay, I'll cover that briefly in another video. And then lastly, this is optional. This here actually is a screen holder, meaning this part goes into the charging port, and then since a lot of phones open to the side, the screen will just be, some people actually have to hold their hand there while they're repairing, so the screen doesn't fall away down. These clamps are actually going to hold that screen up for you while you're doing the repair. So actually just got this from Injured Gadgets. Typically I wouldn't need anything like this, but I just felt like it'd be a good tool to add to the repertoire. So outside of that, that is everything I use for repairs. So I just want to provide a quick video for you guys to explain what I use for a phone repair. In order to do a successful repair, the tools are essential. So if you have any questions for me, you can always get in touch. Once again, that's repairclubinfo@gmail.com. Thanks a lot for watching, and I hope you learned something new today.